It allowed me to make a little extra income.
Second wage.
It is. There's a town called Killam in France. Look at this, look at this. Look at that. Killam. I made it. I'm in Killam. Got my bag and my parcel. I'm going to post a parcel here in Killam back home and race that thing. And I knew it'd be worth it. Just, I want that sign. Can I get it off? I have my fingers inside Killam. I have my whole fist inside Killam. I am now fully inside Killam. Stop. That's stupid. No, there's balls in Killam. There's balls in Killam. I'm there too. That's scary. They just stare at me. Come here. Whoa, he's got some massive muscles. Jesus Christ. There's a shop in Killam. There's a shop in Killam. I'm going in. I'm going in. Oh, yeah. This shop sells everything. Food.
I speak English.
You supervise the Senate.
I'll supervise you.
Yeah, 127, same traffic. Motherfucker. I hope it stays quiet.
Seconds. Oh, that's pretty
difficult to find out who's who.
Oh, the Charger wheels though. Floaty McFloat face over there.
Floaty McFloat face. God damn it. What in the fuck is this Hummer doing? Riding somebody's ass. 127 traffic. We're going to have a black Hummer. Going to be west on Zancudo Ave. Right in front of the motel. I haven't lit them up yet. We're going to be north on Panorama right now. Head towards the boathouse. Crossing Algonquin. And we're going to be at Marina here. And we're going to be going west on Marina. She's a shithead. Plate's going to be 40 Tom Frank Edward 917. Lighten up now.
I got eyes on you guys.
What's your application?
Stop's going to be West Marina Drive. Right now, Philly be yield. He's not stopping. He's stopping right now. We're going to be stopped West Marina Drive. Right next to the Alamo Sea.
I'll be in the area if you need any help.
All right. Howdy, sir.
What's going on, officer?
Can't believe
The I'm stopping today is because as you were coming back west there, you were riding the ass of that motorcycle there. Did you not see him? Were you trying to move him? You can't be driving that close to the back end of a motorcycle.
He was going slow. He was going on his speed.
I understand that. Proof of insurance and as well as your license for me, please.
Yeah, here you go.
All right, nothing illegal in the vehicle, anything you need to know about?
No.
All righty, fantastic. And nothing to drink this morning or anything like that?
No.
Some OJ.
All right, appreciate your honesty. Just sit tight for me. We'll be right back with you. What was your name?
Rick.
Rick
Carlston.
Carlston. I swear I've heard that one before. All right, sit tight for me. You want to run a Rick Carlston there?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'll let you run him. I'll keep an eye on him here. I did not like the sound of that. Oh, that was you starting your engine. I thought it was like,
no. Yeah,
ready to
go. I think I don't know. Might have a bad connection. Nothing's coming back on him.
Okay, no problem. He's talking kind of slow towards me. You want to go on the right side so you can smile in.
Hey guys, just goofing off today. It's a Q&A. Oh yeah, yeah. Today's a Q&A right now.
All right, sir.
So ask me a question and I'll answer it for you guys. Right now it's a Q&A, guys. So you have a question to ask me, I'll answer it for you.
What I'm going to do is, you sure you haven't had any? No, you haven't had any pills or anything like that? The reason why I'm asking you is because your speech is a little slow today.
No.
No,
I'm detecting a slight odor of.
So you guys got any questions or something? Put in the chat.
Maybe haven't had anything to drink.
Put in the chat.
nothing to drink.
Nah.
Got some crazy videos later to put up. So yeah, later I'm putting up crazy videos. So it's a Q&A.
Last night, and then you're moving into the
Didn't
morning.
drink it all night.
Okay.
But
Can
I
you
mean,
step
like,
out?
I'm
Do me a
good.
favor. Step out of the
No,
vehicle.
but I mean, like, I'm good. It was.
I understand that you're good.
it
We
was
just
last
need to make
night.
sure that is the case.
It is the case.
127. Can we? Oh, you're already on scene. Never mind.
Yeah, I just
Roll
rolled
it
up.
up. All right, we have a guy that's going to perform an FST on you. Can you step out of the vehicle for
What
me?
is that?
A field sobriety test. Please step out of the vehicle for me, sir.
Okay.
It's a pretty nice number, though.
Just head back here to the
Oh,
back.
it's a beautiful.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah, just step right over here.
Oh yeah.
It's a Q&A, guys. So ask me for a question. Put it in the chat and I'll answer it for you.
Field sobriety test on you. You're okay to drive, okay?
The Shiner. All right, sit right there.
The Shiner. Shinerbach. That China beer.
All right, go ahead and walk in a straight line over. We don't have any lines, so just try to walk the straightest line.
She's gas can.
Can you draw one? No.
Where
sir.
am I? Just walk towards the officer. Come on.
Get a Jerry can.
Oh, he's
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, he's
I
all
know
over the place now.
He is. I'd say
Yeah.
that's a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm walking the
Sure,
line.
sir, you can. Go ahead and place your hands behind your back center right now.
Yep. No.
Walking the line.
No.
Walking
No,
the line.
He's
taking off.
Taking off, you piece of shit. And he's 1055 too.
That's
Yeah.
not good.
127 going to be the primary unit right now. He is all over the
Secondary.
place. Still west on Marina.
I'll be third.
We'll be in front of the liquor store. Still west on Marina, hitting the gravel road. Yeah, he is just kind of all over the place right now. It's not looking good at all. Not looking good at all.
I think that's
He is
Q&A's, but
off-road,
you know.
opposite lanes of traffic, and he just 1050 with that.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
He's heading towards the sea right now.
Emperor's still good, though. They drove off, so.
Yep, he's making the left now, and he's gonna try to make it to Joshua here. Yeah, this guy is a danger to everything known to man. 127 dispatch. Can we get a pit on this vehicle? I mean, it's bad.
It's approved if traffic conditions are permit. Oh
He
Jesus.
he is basically checking them NHL style. I'm gonna take him out right up here.
Take him out NHL style then.
We got it, sir. There's the pit.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Pit was
Oh.
successful. He just wrecked it right there. He's gonna be going
God.
off road again. It's not gonna go away.
God. I'm following him.
Yeah. It's
Oh, right into a pole.
Okay, yep, right there.
Right into a
That's
pole
it.
again.
It's
I'm
gonna
not
be right
behind
there.
him.
Get your hand. Let's see your hands. See your hands.
Sir, oh my god, he hit me.
He just hit
He
you.
hit me.
Oh,
He took
he
my
hit
door.
you.
He took my door off.
Is lethal force authorized?
I would say so. Well, okay, no.
It's just the
He-
door.
He hit my door off though.
I don't know if we all have to be like, nah.
Not really sure.
I'm secondary again. Sorry.
That's all right. Continue west on 68. Speeds are increasing quite a bit. He's still all over the place. Passing the fruit stand. He's
I'm
hitting
the
the fruit
door,
stand.
so.
Of course, he just
Of
50 to the fruit
course, he hit the
stand.
fruit
Box
stand.
him right here.
Get the
Box him
back
right
end.
here.
Get the back end.
Trying here.
I
Trying
don't have
here.
a strong enough car to do that.
Well, I don't think any of us do. That's an original Hummer. God.
It's an original Hummer. What does
Original.
that mean?
It's an H1.
I'll
It's
be
the
third, I'll be
original.
third.
All right, I'm going to try to go for a pit
All right.
in this Charger, which makes no
Oh,
sense,
God.
so
We
that's
might have
not
to
going
do
to
a
work.
rolling roadblock on him.
Because that Charger didn't do shit against Hummer, so.
All right.
Strong out there.
108. Can you get in front of him?
I'm gonna try again. That's what I was trying to do.
Alrighty.
Trying to slow him down here.
He's
Oh,
gonna
God.
ram you into that Bobcat X.
Almost.
Yeah, stay on this side.
He is
You're gonna
flying.
get murdered.
Okay. Yep. Oh, yep. Heading into Harmony.
God damn, that thing's
All right.
fast.
Yeah, you're missing a door there, 108.
Oh, God.
It's huge thing.
Box him in. There we go.
This is gonna be it. That's
Out
it.
the car.
$100. Cynthia. Man. Cynthia, right up here. They had a Tiffany.
Nothing to me too.
YouTube.
I'm gonna say something real quick.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but
A soccer player?
Vaggie or Vagafar is a rather mysterious character. While she's shown to be very caring and supportive towards Charlie, albeit having a bit of a short fuse, she is indeed a sinner and somehow wound up in hell. As such, one can only assume that during her time on Earth that she committed some sort of sinful act which prevented her from ascending to heaven. So with that said, what sin could she have possibly committed? In this video, I'll be taking a deep dive into Vaggie's character and attempting to answer this very question. This was a suggestion I got in the comments of my last video from the Silent King, so shout out to him for this idea. Before I begin, please consider subscribing to my channel. I
Black part.
regularly post theories about cartoon shows such as Husband Hotel and Hell of a Boss, as well as other content such as reviews and animatics, which you should check out on my channel page after this video.
whatever you say, slut.
In order to understand Vaggie and how she got to where she is now, we first need to understand her background. Vaggie is Salvadorian, a lesbian, and died in 2014 in her 20s. This means she ended up in hell rather recently, as the events of Husband Hotel take place in the modern day, arguably in real time if you're counting the Instagram posts. She has a rather gothic design, or maybe I should say mothic, considering that she's a moth-based demon. One of her most notable features is that she has an eye missing, and instead a red X lies in its place. While these details may seem inconsequential, they're crucial in identifying her sin. But before we get into that, let's talk a little more about her personality. As previously stated at the start of this video, Vaggie is a great girlfriend to Charlie. Out of the two of them, she's the most responsible and level-headed, acting as the voice of reason. She's also extremely protective of Charlie, and would fight anyone who dares disrespect her. She seems to strongly believe in Charlie's cause of redeeming sinners, and from this we can probably assume that she's either a good person or at the very least trying to be one. She's smart, knowing more about Hell's hierarchy than even Angel does despite being so young, and having spent a century less in Hell than he has. Finally, Angel wondered if she distrusts men specifically.
Do you trust any man? Any man? Men.
And this could play a role when figuring out what her sin was. It's important to note that while we don't get an explicit answer, judging by her reaction, there might be some truth to this, as it's not necessarily framed as a joke. So that's about everything we've been explicitly told about Vaggie. Now we need to start putting what we know into context. This is where I talk about child abuse and sexual exploitation. Please make sure you're comfortable with these themes before continuing to watch this video. Hailing from El Salvador, there's a high chance that Vaggie grew up in poverty. 40 to 50% of people in El Salvador did so at the time. Here's where I believe her distrust of men might have started. Vaggie's father may have forced her into prostitution, and there's two big reasons to suspect like this. When sinners die, the creature they transform into when they become demons reflects their human life. Vivziepop described these forms as individual reflections of their souls. Vaggie has taken the form of a moth, a nocturnal creature. In other words, she's a creature of the night. A creature of the night, or alternatively a lady of the night, is also a euphemism for a prostitute. On top of that, during early development of Hazbin Hotel, Vaggie was going to be Angel Dust's girlfriend. They might have gravitated towards each other as they lived similar lives on Earth. As a side note, it may also be possible that the X's over Vaggie's top may represent a desire to not be objectified. However, it's also entirely possible that this is simply an aesthetic choice Vivzie made because she thought it looked cool. I believe it's her father, specifically, that triggered her resentment towards men rather than a pimp or client, as it coincides rather well with how we've seen her behave in the show. For example, her motherly and overprotective behavior towards Charlie may be a direct result of having to be the mother of her family. Maybe her mother died, leaving only her, her siblings, and her father. Maybe she was forced into the role due to her dad being a bad parent. If this is the case, then in all likelihood they would have had many rough, perhaps even violent confrontations. This may provide an explanation as to why she's so quick to anger and provoked. When the time called for it, she had to be just as aggressive as her dad was in order to survive and protect her family. This just leaves one final question. What was her sin? The obvious answer is prostitution, but there's a high chance that this wasn't the only sin that she committed, or let alone the most severe. I think her father may have threatened her family in some way, maybe with some kind of physical abuse. This left her with no other option but to get violent with him, and in a fit of rage, she might have made an attempt on his life. If that is the case, then I wonder if he retaliated by stabbing Vaggie in the eye, causing her to bleed to death shortly after. And for now, that's all I've got. Do you have your own theories about Vaggie? Share them with me in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video if you found it interesting, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
I'm on secret mission with my daughter.
What can I do to get American men? You want them to like you. That way you can get money. How old do you like them? Nearly dead. I love that.
I'm impressed with real sexy feels. What's this?
This is a bag that just goes over the dress.
They're nice.
I really like this.
Rated R.
Hey folks, before we begin, this video covers a lot of touchy subject matters. Hazbin Hotel is a cartoon for mature audiences. However, being a millennial who grew up on the internet, I understand pretty well how this stuff works. I was a teenager too.
Why do you bother putting age restrictions on these things? All I hit do is click, yes, I am 18. Even a 17-year-old can figure that out.
But, as a responsible YouTuber, I will do my due diligence to get this nonsense out of my way. Here's your content warning. I'm taking this straight from the music video I'm talking about, and if any of this type of content is either too mature or upsetting to you, feel free to click on it now. Might I suggest my D&D alignment videos? YouTube seems to deem them family-friendly enough. Maybe check out the one I did on Zuko from Avatar. I'm real proud of that one, and if you like video essays combined with cinnamon-style nitpicking, I think you'll like the series. And with that out of the way, let's go. Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart, and welcome to the part of the channel where I obsess over someone else's indie project known as Hazbin Hotel. The animator, director, creator, and my favorite trash lord, Vivziepop, released a brand new music video for her Hazbin Hotel series. In it, we are taken through the backstory of the slutty spider known as Angel Dust. There, we learn about his connection to the overlord Valentino, the criminal known as Cherry Bomb, and the current situation at the happy Hazbin Hotel. Shortly after the video dropped, I got a ton of comments. Most of them asking things like, are you going to do an update on Angel Dust info? Or are you going to do an analysis of the lore we learned? And some other people have been genuinely sweet in asking me my opinion on it and what I thought about it. Well, first off, let's get my opinion out of the way. What did I think of the controversial, gritty, edgy, triggering, and offensive music video? This shit. This shit is my goddamn jam, and it's really, really fun. There are some really strong and cool visuals, and the song is pure goddamn fire, and unlike anything else I've heard come out of this universe. The animation is, as always, freaking great. It's nice to see the video keep up with the chaotic energy from the pilot while cutting out a lot of the pacing issues and animation white noise that the original was criticized for. There's a few animation shorthands that I don't particularly like, but that's just my own personal taste in nitpicking. The video serves as an excellent introduction to the backstory of one of Vince's
World's Wildest Police Videos, YouTube.
With that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the petulant porn star, Angel Dust.
I don't care anymore about Angel Dust.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
We have the picture of the pursuit.
Look around. No matter where you are, at any second, it could happen to you. Because desperate criminals use desperate measures. No matter who gets in the way. For the next 60 minutes, you'll get a close-up view of what officers see every day. You'll ride shotgun in the most terrifying chases on the road. You'll feel the heat of the most explosive acts of criminal insanity ever captured on tape. Much of this footage has never been viewed by the public. Police and news agencies send us their most shocking videos so that you can know what they know. That to let your guard down, even for an instant, could mean disaster. So crank up your TV and don't turn away, because real life happens in the blink of an eye. I'm Sheriff John Bennell. Most people don't even think about law enforcement until they either do something wrong or get wronged themselves. But police know that fighting crime is a full-time job. If something isn't going down now, it will be soon. And officers have to be ready. So get ready. What we're going to show you tonight is the ruthlessness of criminals, the toughness of cops, and the clash when both sides refuse to back down. Chilton County, Alabama. State troopers just clocked this driver going 122 miles an hour. The suspect quickly makes pursuing cruisers a distant reflection in his rear view. His getaway car is turbocharged with all-wheel drive, and it belongs to someone else. The suspect stole the car, and now police are on his tail. But this guy's not worried. In fact, he couldn't be happier. For weeks, the suspect has bragged to friends that he's outrun police in several different states. Today, he's decided to take a disbelieving buddy along for the ride. He starts out with a little showboating, first slowing down until he's bumper to bumper with police. Then rocketing off toward the horizon. The man flies around bends at 127 miles an hour. On straightaways, he floors it to an unbelievable 140. But just when he's about to deal his passenger an "I told you so," Trooper Frank Cesara rolls up in his fully loaded 5.0 Mustang. Cesara quickly closes the gap. The lead-footed suspect wasn't counting on an even match. Hoping to save face in front of his pal, He charges straight for other motorists, then swerves at the last minute as he punches the accelerator. He's traveling so fast, most drivers don't even see him coming. Trooper Cicera is ready for the challenge. He matches the suspect move for move. But the high-speed blowhard has a few more tricks in his motor. He races toward a slow-moving pickup. He veers past, then cuts in front and taps his brakes. The move gives the suspect a few valuable seconds on the trooper. But before the driver can exchange high fives with his companion, Cicera drops the pedal to the floor once again and finds his mark. Still determined to show his friend that he can outrun the law, the suspect picks up the pace. But his speed nearly does him in. A van slowing for a left turn is caught in the raging driver's path. The suspect hits the brakes, causing his front tire to crumble. His car is sent flying into a yard right before the house. Trooper Cicera moves in for the takedown, but somehow the speed demon gets moving again. The suspect is trying nearly everything. He's quickly running out of options. With officers from 3 different counties closing in, the suspect's confidence is rapidly being replaced by desperation. The last-ditch effort. The suspect shoots onto a dirt road. He tries to shake police in a thick veil of dust and grime. For a while, Cicera actually loses sight of the man. The thrill jockey might just get away, but backup officers are waiting at every exit. One unit forces the man to the shoulder. He skids along the gravel and grass, then tries to speed back onto the pavement. Trooper Cicera slams the suspect's side, hoping to knock him out of the race. The ego-driven fugitive pulls away, but the miles of running full throttle have finally taken their toll. The suspect's engine begins to miss. The car sputters and slows down. Trooper Cicera moves in and makes sure that the dying vehicle doesn't find new life. Now under arrest, this daredevil who talked a big game is no more than a hood with the right to remain silent. He may have told his friends tales of high-speed escape, but Trooper Frank Cicera made sure that the next story he tells will be in front of a judge. Montgomery, Alabama. The face of a pursuit can take shape within seconds. When this V6 Grand Am turned on the jets against 3 tailing cruisers, officers knew the driver was in it for the long haul. The officers want to end this quickly. Trying to box him in, one officer pulls ahead, while another closes in behind. But the reckless racer punches the first cruiser aside, then slams through the second one, leaving a trail of ripped fenders and smashed headlights. Obviously, a mere 3 squad cars aren't going to do the trick. All officers can do is slow him down until backup moves in. They desperately try to box him in. He swerves and dodges, then bounces over the shoulder and slips by the officers. But the plan has worked. As the perk races into town, backup units are now on hand. The perk spots cruisers ahead and races into the parking lot of a shopping mall. The cops may have their numbers, but they're reluctant to try anything drastic in a public space. It's a potential disaster zone of pedestrians and weekend shoppers. The police are dogged and they stick close. The driver's frustration rises as he desperately tries to find a way out. This is rapidly turning into a nightmare. He circles around the lot, but at every turn the police head him off. officers skillfully steer the maniac suspect towards an exit and away from this danger area. The
Hey, Mom.
driver spots the opening.
Yeah?
Races towards
Okay. Thanks.
back on the main road, just where the officers want him. On the open highway, police have set a spike strip. Before the speed junkie knows what's happened, he's blazed right over.
Hey.
Smoke begins pouring from his punctured wheels. A moment later, his rim shower sparks as they fly across the pavement. He can barely maintain control. His damaged sports car finally draws to a halt, and the police snap him. With his high-speed ride, this sleazy suspect figured that he could leave the cops standing. He punched through their cruisers, blazed through their roadblocks, little realizing that while he was burning rubber, the cops were setting their trap. It was just a matter of time before he ran straight into them. Now this hot head and a hot rod will have to cool his heels in the county slammer. The pit maneuver. A carefully orchestrated police procedure, causing a suspect's car to spin around and stall out. Popularized by police in Los Angeles, this technique is now commonly used by cops nationwide. In fact, many officers still call it a California stop, but a pit maneuver by any other name still gets the bad guys off the street. Colleton County, South Carolina. The man driving this van has already been involved in one accident and seems hell-bent on causing another one. She lunges straight toward a patrol car ahead of her and muscles him onto the shoulder. Seeing that she hasn't intimidated the officers one bit, she zooms ahead, intent on leaving police in the dust. But the posse stays right on her tail. She continues to blaze down the road, blocking a swarm of police units behind her. Once again, she muscles a cruiser onto the shoulder. The police realize that individually they can't stop her large van. She'll keep bullying them. So the officers lay plans to coordinate a California stop. But with a vehicle this big, it isn't going to be easy. They arrange for units ahead to delay traffic. Then the patrol cars position themselves around the van. With the woman trapped behind a slow-moving RV unit, the cops can finally execute the procedure. The police ram the side of her vehicle and push it forward. It does the trick. She can't escape the patrol car's pressure. The van slides sideways on its tires. She overcompensates to the right and swerves off the road. Her van comes to a rest at the bottom of a grassy hill. In a heartbeat, the units have her surrounded. The woman struggles as she's taken into custody. She thought she ruled the road, but her reign is now over. This woman got behind the wheel of a large vehicle and then got pushy with the police. But the officers pushed back with the California stop, which took her off the highway for good. Coming up on police videos, the bad guys beef up with intense firepower, heavy horsepower, and sheer manpower. Plus, whether it's a DUI or an APB, any way you spell it, these crooks get it. When a professional car thief commits a robbery, he does it quickly and quietly. But an amateur thief is likely to do something so stupid, he'll amaze even the most experienced officer. Mustang convertible was a witness to an accident. But while he was giving a statement to police, this man took off in his car in full view of both the owner and the officer. In control of the green car he's always wanted, the car thief decides to see what it can handle. He takes the automobile for an unauthorized test drive through the thick of commuter traffic. By now, this car thief has the Montgomery County Sheriff and Alabama State Police close on his tail. But he doesn't seem to care as he pushes the pursuit to speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. Going this fast, a pit attempt could cause a rollover, a certain death sentence for anyone in a convertible. As if he were trying to do the dirty deed himself, the suspect zips through a tiny opening between two cars. But after repeatedly testing Lady Luck, misfortune finally catches up to the fugitive. As he tries to pass through yet another tight squeeze, he loses control and slingshots across the center divide. Police can only hope that the car thief kept the car from going belly up. By the time the pursuing officer makes a U-turn to survey the scene, state and county officers have the suspect and his stolen ride in custody.
Good.
This guy tried to sneak in a day in the sun with his favorite automobile. And when he finally got what he wanted, he nearly killed himself trying to keep it. But in the end, this crook's Grand Theft Auto took him out of the driver's seat of his dream car and into the back seat of a patrol car. Leesburg, Virginia. This car has been stopped for a simple speeding violation, but the driver and his two passengers are too nervous to sit and wait for the ticket. Corporal James Dodson soon learns why. This trio is fleeing in a stolen vehicle. Suddenly, Dodson sees their doors open. They're about to bail out. One suspect runs right past Dodson's car. Police decide to move in before any more suspects can scatter. As Sergeant Brian Rourke charges in on the right, they slow down again. You won't believe what happens next. The passenger leaps from the car and smacks right into Rourke's windshield. Amazingly unhurt, he flips onto his feet and keeps going. Rourke searches for the fugitive. He soon gets word that the felon has been captured by another officer in the area. Meanwhile, Officer Dodson is still after the stolen vehicle. Though this getaway car keeps shedding its accomplices, Dodson persists in pursuing the driver. As they pull into a parking lot, the lone lawbreaker realizes he's running out of road. His door opens. He's looking to bail out, just like his partners did. But Dodson isn't going to let that happen again. He veers his cruiser to the right, and the driver is trapped inside. Rourke pulls up in time to assist Dodson in arresting the driver. The apprehended wheelman quickly gave up the location of the other passenger. He was caught within an hour. All three pled guilty to Grand Theft Auto and resisting arrest. To get away, these thieves went in 3 different directions. But even when partners in crime split up, officers working together can take them all down. Next, on police video. Stand up, buddy. Cops and criminals go toe to toe. When the tension gets thick, patience wears thin, leaving only one question. Who's going to blink first? everyday life. It's not easy for police to enforce the law in places where the crooks are more heavily armed than the cops. Johannesburg, South Africa, where carjacking is a frightening epidemic and local law enforcement is desperate to crack down. A call comes in, one of over 2,000 carjackings reported per year. Police race to respond. The helicopter locates the stolen BMW with two heavily armed carjackers inside. Within minutes, Officer Marnie Goosen is caught up. The felon's floored. Anticipating the suspect's next move, another patrol car waits for them ahead. The crooks spot the backup officer and veer off onto the embankment. Officer Goosen fears a violent showdown. These heavily armed hoodlums might try to shoot their way out. Goosen's show of force does the trick, scaring the suspects into submission. Goosen moves in to make the arrest. Knowing how dangerous these criminals are, he has only one question on his mind.
Who's it file? Who's it file?
A quick search of the vehicle produces several automatic weapons, including a high-powered assault rifle. That's why police came prepared with some heavy artillery of their own. This time the cops were lucky. Nobody was hurt in what could have been a bloody takedown. But these officers know that another carjacking is probably already underway in this city gone wild. And as always, police will need to be ready for the worst. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Most drunks behind the wheel go to great lengths to hide their impairment from police. But not this drunk. This drunk was driving against traffic. But he doesn't even seem to know how intoxicated he is.
See this line right here?
And this isn't his first time.
Oh, you've been to this before, right?
Even though it's obvious the man's inebriated, the officer needs evidence on tape. So he begins with a very simple inquiry.
Can you count?
It's not a trick question, but the suspect is having some trouble answering.
Visit high school? Can you count?
Finally, he gets it, and the officer can continue.
Two players counting 79 to 39. Backwards. It's the best chance. 39 to get to the 6 to the 5 to 4. It's like that.
The boozer isn't much with numbers, but during a brief moment of clarity, he shows that he can definitely spell.
G-R-U-N-K. You what?
G-R-U-N-K.
D-R-U-N-K? You're drunk?
In fact, he flaunts the one skill he's retained.
G-R-U-N-K.
D-R-U-N-K, huh? I guess that's why you're going the wrong way in McCall, right?
It comes as no surprise to the officer. Having all the evidence he needs, he prepares to take the man right to jail.
Go ahead and turn around, put your hands behind your back for me.
But before the officer hauls him away, he has a final question.
Tell me one more thing, sir. What time is it? It's got to be at 12, after 12, and before what? 1. After 12 and before 1. Just for your information, it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nighty-night. Johannesburg, South Africa. A woman on the verge of an emotional breakdown has locked herself in a hotel room. After attempting to murder her husband, she's now turned the gun on herself. Police call in the woman's mother and children. They can only hope that having family nearby will help convince the woman to put down her weapon. But even her own flesh and blood can't help ease her pain. A SWAT team stands by, ready to move in with force should the woman point the gun toward others. Her behavior reveals just how paranoid and violent she has become. She actually draws a bead on the cameraman. An officer pleads with the woman, and finally, his words hit home. The woman agrees to talk to someone, and Johannesburg police send in their top negotiator. The officer takes a seat next to the woman and talks to her calmly. The woman sets the gun on the windowsill. The negotiator keeps talking. And the moment she lets her guard down, the officer seizes it in a fraction of a second and diffuses the highly volatile situation. When dealing with a suicidal person such as this woman, police negotiators know that they better be armed with their weapons and their wits. This courageous officer relied on spoken words and simple psychology. And when all was said and done, a life was saved. Just ahead, on police videos. Bad guys find trouble where they least expect it. Big rigs block them. Small rigs knock them. Low jacks trail them all over this freeway so police can nail them. Get out of the car! Losing sight of a suspect does not mean the chase is over. Somewhere up the road, an officer might just get some unexpected help. Lexington, South Carolina. An APB has been issued on this late model sedan. The suspect is wanted for a multiple hit-and-run crime spree, and it looks like he's just getting started. Sergeant Rachel Flowers answers the All Points Bulletin, staying close behind the suspect, who muscles past other drivers as he heads for the edge of town. Down the road, a sheriff's deputy waits with sticks in hand. The suspect sees the officer's plan, and he's not going to sit still for it. His 30-second swerve nearly runs the deputy over. Police consider the action an assault with intent to kill. With no officers ahead of him now, the suspect guns it toward the open horizon. Sergeant Flowers sees him gaining distance and pours on the power. When she catches up, Flowers learns that police aren't the only ones who want this guy's stuff. A county worker in a pickup truck has seen the pursuit closing in from a mile away. He watches the suspect in his rearview mirror and refuses to let the bandit pass. Meanwhile, an 18-wheeler blocks the oncoming lane. The civilian jams his truck into reverse, an aggressive move to stop the suspect in his tracks. The outlaw revs his engine in a pitiful attempt to escape. When backup arrives, police surround the outlaw and draw their guns. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! But he isn't budging. Sergeant Flowers rushes in and pulls the hit-and-run suspect out from behind the wheel. And closes the book on this one-man wrecking crew. This suspect went on a wild hit-and-run spree that took him straight into Sergeant Rachel Flowers' turf. He thought he could give her the slip, and he might have made it. But when a county worker put himself in the game, this outlaw was stopped cold. And in the end, Sergeant Flowers and her partner put this renegade driver into a state of permanent gridlock. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Los Angeles, California. There are two types of car thieves: hardened criminals who steal for profit, and young fools who just want a joyride. These car thieves don't seem to know where they're going, so the Highway Patrol suspects they're of the second category. We've been going now about 20 minutes, and it doesn't look like you guys have any comp plan at all. The officer officer's suspicion is confirmed when the thieves use 3 different highways to make a giant circle around the city. They're heading right back where they came from, downtown Los Angeles.
Officers are letting Sky Unit track the suspect until they're out of the danger zone.
Spooked by the helicopter above them, the young felons accelerate, dodging between vehicles.
Oh my God, he almost lit that van.
Blowing through traffic
Whoa, that was close.
like a whirlwind.
This could all be over very soon.
The driver pinballs off one car
Oh no.
and flips another.
So this driver, he may be joyriding, but he's looking at some very serious jail time.
Suddenly, the thieves exit the freeway, attempting to lose the helicopter among the tall buildings.
Oh, he just drove right through that stoplight.
It works, and the Sky Unit's view is blocked. The ground units are waiting. The thieves pull into a motel and abandon the car, just as city police close the trap. The passenger flees on foot, hurling himself over a fence. The 2 officers are right behind him. He realizes the game's up and surrenders.
Okay, they got the passenger.
Meanwhile, the driver disappears on the motel ground. Police immediately throw a dragnet around the area.
The driver is on farm. Police are making sure he doesn't get out.
They make a swift sweep of the motel rooms,
He must be held up in one of those rooms.
where they soon nail their man. The thieves didn't realize police had been alerted when the car's low jack security system was activated. The homing device allowed officers to track the crooks at a comfortable distance, no matter how crazy the hot-headed driver got.
Oh no.
With high-tech support on the ground and in the air, officers were able to swiftly coordinate an effective arrest. Coming up on police videos, self-destructive suspects on the road to annihilation. They're ticking time bombs. The cops must defuse before it all blows up in their face. Next.
DUIs aren't always about alcohol. Sometimes a person taking medication can be every bit as dangerous as a drunk driver.
Wharton County, Texas. An El Campo police officer responds to the 911 call. But before he can make contact, the suspected drunk makes an insane maneuver, driving onto the wrong side of the freeway. A thundering truck barely misses him. There's no time to wait. The suspect could cause a pileup at any moment. The officer has one chance and takes
Hey guys, I'm getting tired, so yeah, I'm gonna shut down a little bit and finish this up tomorrow.
but the suspect races past him.
So in a minute or two, guys, I'm gonna turn off and for the night. I'm gonna shut down for the night. Sorry guys, I'm just getting wore out from working. I worked all day. Hey, I haven't taken a nap yet, so yeah.
Looming on the horizon is another truck, a 40-ton big rig that can't move aside in time.
Ugh.
The semi sheared the side of the driver's car, bursting a tire. And the hapless suspect is unable to continue. The officer seizes the moment and moves in for the arrest. The officer was surprised to discover the driver wasn't drunk. He was in diabetic shock. Without his insulin, he had no idea what he was doing. When the officer discovered the driver's condition, he traded the cuffs for an ambulance, and the man received the medical attention he needed. Texas.
I hate when that happens.
The officer wrangles a drunk to the side of the road.
The person
It's
it's
a fairly common occurrence. So far, everything is pretty ordinary, but all that is about to change. Dispatch reports a man in a heisted vehicle is headed into this area. It's the first pitch in what is to become a night filled with curveballs. The officer leads back up to complete the arrest. He hits the gas and begins his search. Police know that by now, the car thief could be long gone. But much to the officer's amazement, he catches up to the suspect right away. He clicks on the blue and reds, but the suspect doesn't stop. The officer expected as much. But what happens next takes him by complete surprise. Out of nowhere, a vigilante motorist tries to intercept the rolling bandit. The near hit stokes the suspect's rage. When the officer pulls up, the suspect lashes out like a caged animal. Police try to block the possible escape routes. But there's no telling where this guy will go from 1 second to the next. Or what insane move he will make. The suspect suddenly skids onto a narrow side street. Then he makes another abrupt turn. The officer follows and barely sees it coming. Unable to match the driver's breakneck move, the officer slams on the brakes. He stops just short of smashing into a tree. When the officer straightens out, he gets one more surprise to add to his growing list. In the span of a few seconds, the suspect ditched his car and ran into an apartment complex. Luckily, officers catch him before he can duck into any of the units. But
I'm going home.
they get the biggest shock of the evening. After all police went through to catch this car thief, the victim decides not to prosecute.